Hello, this is a video I made of a very popular hiking trail in San Luis Obispo. It's called High School Hill. It goes to the highest point in San Luis Obispo City, a ridge which is called No Name Ridge. To get to the trail, you enter off Johnson Avenue onto Lizzie Street, then onto Lizzie Court, into a neighborhood where the trailhead can be reached. If you're leaving from downtown San Luis Obispo, you go south on Johnson Avenue to French Hospital. Once you get to the intersection where the turn for the entrance to French Hospital is, you make a left-hand turn away from French Hospital onto Lizzie Street. Once on Lizzie Street, you can begin thinking about parking, and all the spots along there are available for parking without meters, and only a small hike up to the trailhead for the High School Hill. At the end of Lizzie Street, you intersect with Wilding. Slow down there as traffic coming from the right has the right-of-way. Once it's clear, proceed straight ahead onto Lizzie Court. Again, you can park anywhere along this way as long as the signs don't have no parking listed. After you park, you're going to proceed to the very end of the cul-de-sac on Lizzie Court. To your right will be a well-marked trailhead sign for the entrance to the High School Hill. Here at the trailhead, you enter into an area of the trail which has split rail fence on both sides. This will direct you for about 300 to 500 yards through the area of the residential section to get you to the open space. So you continued up this narrow pathway, a fairly easy grade, until you reach a spot where the double-sided split rail fencing ends, and then you see to your left a look over the residential area down toward the city of San Luis Obispo. Directly west as you look out is San Luis Mountain, and to the right of that will be Bishop's Peak, the two main landmark peaks in the city of San Luis Obispo. Below, also on your left, is the area of the San Luis Obispo High School, and this is the area which gave the trail its name as the High School Hill. Here are the sports fields for San Luis Obispo High School below. You now begin the trail up. You cross a small creek, which has only a small amount of water in it most of the time, but can get a little heavier during the rainy season. Once you've passed this small creek, the trail begins to have a much more significant vertical grade. The main difficulty of this trail is the fact that it's such a steep vertical grade. And most of my videos don't really show you enough to appreciate that, as I'm taking the videos as I'm resting going up the hill and looking back toward the city of San Luis Obispo. About a third of the way up, you start to get nice panoramic views of the city, blocked a little bit by the hills on both sides. I always encourage people to use walking sticks on this hike due to the steepness of the hike, the slipperiness of the trail, and the fact that coming down can be even more treacherous. The support of the walking sticks is very helpful. Once you get about two-thirds of the way up the hill, you get a more panoramic view of the city. The far left in the horizon is the San Luis Obispo Airport. Then you pan across the city of San Luis Obispo. You see San Luis Mountain and Bishop's Peak, again the two landmark peaks in the city. We're looking directly west. You can't really see the ocean even on a clear day. At the top of the trail, you reach this pile of rocks, but up at the top is the top of a beacon. You want to go ahead and make the turn and proceed another 100 yards up to the top of the hill. That's the very top point of the hike and is about 1,715 feet up. This is an article from the San Luis Obispo Tribune in July of 2008 describing the trail, the fact that the ridge has never really had a name, and showing the old beacon tower at the top of the hill. When you reach the beacon tower, you're going to have the best views in the city of San Luis Obispo. Right now we're looking directly north at the tower as we walk up to it from the top of the trailhead. The next video is going to show us looking south, and we're going to see in the left-hand side Islay Hill, which is the first of the 7 peaks which make up the 7 sister peaks that extend from Islay Hill to the Morro Rock in Morro Bay. Again, we're going to panorama the city of San Luis Obispo with the airport off to the far left, go across and again see the two hallmark peaks, San Luis Obispo Mountain and Bishop's Peak. Now, San Luis Obispo Mountain is frequently called by the locals Madonna Mountain. You can see the M on it. It's near the Madonna Inn, and part of the property belongs to the Madonna family. And then below Bishop's Peak on the right, you're going to see the U.S. Highway 1, the Pacific Coast Highway, heading out toward Morro Bay and then on up the coast to the famous Coast Highway to Carmel. I'm going to pan across past the Beacon Tower, and you're going to see the U.S. Highway 101, the interstate going up more inland toward Atascadero and San Francisco. Now we're going to look directly east at another ridge across the valley and come back to a south view to the trail that brought us up to the Beacon. Again, there's Islay Peak in the horizon. We're going to hike back down this trail. There's 3 ways of getting down. If you proceed another mile down this ridge, there's a turn down to Sydney Street in San Luis Obispo. If you proceed left about a mile down, you go down to Reservoir Canyon near Highway 101. But we're going to go back the way we came. So you come to the big pile of rocks. You make a right turn there. Again, I think walking sticks are helpful if you don't have them, or if you do have them, be very careful. It's a very slippery descent due to the rocks, loose gravel, and the steepness of the grade. It takes about 45 minutes to get up and about 15 minutes to get down the hill for the average hiker. Add a little more time if you're slow. So you've now hiked the high school hill.